We are already in the 7th section of the course. In the next few lectures, we will be going through how to interrupt someone politely, how to use persuasive language effectively, and how to make a complaint in a sensitive and respectful way. Now, these are often tricky situations where we could run the risk of offending someone if we say these things too directly. So, as always, we need to learn the phrases to use to soften our language, but still be able to say what we want to say. Let's start with interrupting. So, usually in a conversational setting, interrupting is seen as quite impolite, and it is usually discouraged. But there are some situations or exceptions in which we will need to interrupt someone. And so it's important for us to make sure that we are using language which is apologetic and respectful when doing so. So let's say, for example, you are at home and you are speaking to a friend or a family member, and they are telling you a story. And during this conversation, you hear a knock at the door. Now, they haven't heard it, so you will need to just interrupt them quickly so that you can go and check the door. So some phrases you could use in this situation are, "Sorry for interrupting, but I just need to go check the door quickly." Or, "Excuse me for interrupting, but I need to go and get the door." Or, "Do you mind if I interrupt you quickly? I just need to go check who's at the door." If you are in a group situation and everyone is kind of involved in one big conversation, but you're not actively speaking at that time, and maybe your phone rings and you need to go and take this call, you could excuse yourself from this situation by saying, "Pardon me, I just need to take this." Or, "Excuse me, I just need to get this call." So in this kind of situation, it is appropriate to quickly use a short phrase like "pardon me" or "excuse me" to leave the conversation and kind of interrupt that person, but just to let them know that you are walking away. And in this kind of setting, it's appropriate because many people are involved in this conversation and you are not really going to be missed if you leave quickly. So it's okay. But in a situation where you are speaking to someone one-on-one, this would not work at all. So obviously, if you are speaking to someone and you just all of a sudden say "excuse me" and leave, it will feel very abrupt and leave the person feeling quite uncomfortable. So as we have spoken about in our previous example, these other phrases, which are more apologetic, are much more appropriate for one-on-one situations. If you are walking in on a group that is having a conversation and you just need to interrupt them to tell everyone something quickly, you could do this politely by saying, "I don't mean to intrude, but dinner is on the table." Or, "Sorry to butt in, but may I just say that the food is on the table so everyone can come and eat." If you are in a conversation with someone and with a group of people at once, and they are saying something that you have something very relevant or interesting or exciting to add to their point, you could interrupt them politely by using the phrase, "Before you continue, may I just add something?" Or, "Do you mind if I jump in here?" Now, this interruption could be very well received if you are adding something of value to the conversation and it seemed like the good moment or good opportunity to butt in and interject and add what you had to say. But if you do this too often, or if it seems like you are just trying to direct the talking stick to yourself and take away that other person's opportunity, this will make you seem quite impolite and it will probably have a bad effect on the conversation. So make sure you're doing it at a relevant time. Okay, here are the phrases again from this lecture, and then once you're done taking these down, let's move on to the next lecture, where we will learn how to use persuasive language effectively.